welcome back to the Across the Cowboys podcast. I am your host, Paul Ryan, and with me, as always, are Mike the Pig Crum and Brenden Fergy Smith. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great. Mike's eating.
I got my antacid pills.
All that Disney food. Yeah, he's got Mike's stomach all messed up. Mike, hope you're feeling all right.
I drink about 9 of these a day.
Are those like the Tums that are chewable that are almost like Mentos?
Mm-hmm.
Those are good.
Tropical flavor.
Those are good. Brenden, how are you tonight?
Dude, I'm chilling. It looks like it might storm, so who knows if I can keep my power on.
When it rains and has crazy storms, I love to watch a scary movie. How about you?
Dude, that's great. But also, I just love chilling and listening to music, though. Like, that's also just, like, peak.
Yeah, that's a vibe, too, for sure. I don't know, Mike. What about you? What's your PG favorite thing to do during the rain, during the storm?
Damn it! I swear on everything. I was like, I just masturbate the whole time. That's exactly what
Oh, Lord.
you know me too well.
Do you even need the rain for that, Mike?
I was just gonna go. I just basically masturbate the whole day if I'm in on a rainy day. But
rain or shine, right?
PG, I don't know. I put something on TV and lay in bed and do nothing.
Nothing.
Got you.
You see, you can't see his hands right now.
Oh, you can't even tell.
Fun fact for those of you who are new to the show that were didn't hear just the audio version. Mike just used to do these shows naked.
I was in my boxers.
See,
basically.
then he gets PG as soon as he thought a kid was going on. Like, what the hell?
Video.
All right, let's go ahead and get off this topic before we start getting too crazy. Mike, where can we find you on Twitter, sir?
That's CD Piglet, guys. Nice and easy.
Brenden, how about you?
You can find me at Brenden_Smith26.
You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. Well, it is a good week to talk some football as OTAs have started and the NFL schedule was released last week. The Cowboys schedule was somewhat spoiled, if you will, with the news coming out early that the Cowboys and the Super Bowl champion and division rival Philadelphia Eagles would be the teams to open the season on Thursday night. Brenden, we'll start with you. Is the Week 1 matchup versus Philly a vote of confidence for the Cowboys from the league in your eyes?
Oh, no, it's all about ratings. It's like, we could put an up-and-coming team against the Super Bowl champions, or you can get two teams that hate each other. Like, that absolutely just despise each other. I think Philly wants to destroy Dallas on their banner night, and Dallas would love for their first win with their new head coach to spoil that. Like, it's super easy, and either way, Dallas gets murdered Week 1. Guess what? Talked about all week. Doesn't matter what happens Friday night football going into Sunday. No one cares about that. Dallas somehow makes an upset because I think Dallas is like plus 700 or whatever, and all that. So then guess what? Oh my gosh, is Philly gonna have that whole Super Bowl slump after that? It's just easy talking points. No matter what happens, it could be a great game or one team get murdered, and that would be the entire talking point for the rest of the week.
Mike, would you have rather seen a different team maybe face off with Philly, like a Super Bowl rematch, or maybe like Commanders, Eagles? What are your thoughts on them?
I don't mind it. I think one, they're tired of no Dak, Jalen Hurts matchups. One of them's always injured or somebody's sitting or something, and the other is you can see by the betting odds we're only we have a 7.5, I think is our over under this year by most betting spots. And I think the league is like, just in case they're not as good as we hope, let's get some of the big games in early. Now it's Dallas, like Cooper Rush and friggin' Cowboys went to play the Bengals and broke like a record when it was like we were under football or whatever. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You're going to get ratings no matter what with Dallas because people want to see them lose if they But I think it's more of let's make sure we get an enormous rating with the two starting quarterbacks and the best we can off one of these games for sure.
I wonder how much money like Jerry Jones has made the NFL in his time as being the Cowboys owner. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like any other owner, I don't know what this Cowboys franchise would be like, you know?
He is the best owner in sports history, but one of the worst GMs. But make no mistake, owner-wise, there is no one that touches him. The only thing negative, he is an A+ across the board, except for the fact that he keeps himself as a GM. That's the only thing you can knock against him. Otherwise, he's done everything great as an owner. And I hate to say it, but I got to be real about it. Got to give him credit.
Dude, he's a marketing genius. Like, we all talk like how like dumb moves he makes. All like how like, oh, he's an idiot. Marketing wise, he could give a lecture, and everyone should be writing down every word he says because he knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to that stuff.
What did we talk about Pickens earlier? Hopium.
Fair.
I can't imagine the NFL like without Jerry Jones. As weird as that sounds, you know.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope he lives another.
Jones, right?
He can live another 40 years.
15, 20 years, whatever.
He has to pass it on to somebody else.
Dude, I'm telling you, Steven's gonna be worse.
I got you.
Steven's going to be worse. Jerry will do one random move because he wants Dallas to be talked about. Steven don't care about that.
Can I be honest with you? I prefer worse. I'm tired of in the middle. In the middle gets you nowhere. In the middle with 1-year deals. Hey, we went 11-5, went out in the first round. Give me the guy that's like, nah, I ain't doing that bullshit. And you can, if you suck for a while, you might land a Burrow and then end up in a Super Bowl and have a shot to win it. Cincinnati's the only team run worse than Dallas. By like that you could get like for sure this team's worse. Jets probably are too. But like Jets have been to an AFC championship. They got Rex Ryan, the right coach came, and they made it. The Bengals got the right quarterback. But if you stay picking 12 to 28, it's you're never going to be able to flip that on its head. You have to be able to either win it, or be good in free agency or hit the right top 5 pick type thing. So, I'm all right with Stephen Jones coming in and going, Jerry Jones is never going to let them be not relevant. If he believes they're going to be irrelevant, he'll do something like Pickens. Even if it's just for a 1-year rental, he'll do it.
At this point, I can never see the Cowboys being not relevant regardless of their record just because of their brand and everything. But I think Stephen Jones is at least more willing to suck or to like let other people have more control and credit than what he is. And he's, he might be not as much of a risk taker, but I think his moves will be more calculated.
Relevant's probably not the right word I meant. I meant within winning wise relevant. Like what I told when me and Brenden were talking about Pickens, he goes, yeah, but why would you give up a 3rd round pick if you're only going to go for a guy for 1 year? And I go, because he needs to sell this year. He's got to be able to sell it. And if you go out there, if nobody's believing you're going to beat the Eagles, if you're going out there with Jalen Tolbert and Mingo across from CeeDee Lamb. So now, do I think they're going to win now? No, but I could sell you. I could sell you that Dallas could win this year. If I told you Guyton takes a step, Mozzie, the way he ended the year, he takes another step. Eberflus is better against defense. He's better with linebackers. Schotty moves. He plays splits. The offensive coordinator now has a better run scheme. Dak's healthy. Like, I could sell you like, hey, get us in the tournament and we'll see what happens. Now, do I really believe it? No, but now they can sell it. You get out there with what you had at wide receiver, you're not selling that to anybody. You're just not.
I think with Pickens, man, healthy Dak, Pickens, and Lamb, I think we could have the number 1 offense in the NFL.
It's very possible. Very possible.
Passing game, yes. All-around offense, I don't know.
It's going to depend on the left tackle and the right tackle. If the right tackle run blocks and they can get a run game going, that'll help. If the left tackle could hold up and pass block and we only have to worry about Steele as a run blocker, then you can get going. Those tackles are going to be super important.
It's not out of question to think that Terrence Steele could just have a bounce back season and go back to being himself. I mean, I think that's pretty likely, honestly.
That helps your run blocking, but he's never been a good pass blocker. So even if he was the best version of himself, he's a below average pass blocker. Now I'm just saying, great run blocker.
Yeah, but with the addition of Booker and then BB and then Tyler Smith, I think if just a bounce back season from Terrence Steele, pass blocking or not, I think that improves your offensive line though.
Oh yeah, if you get back to getting run blocking Terrence Steele, sign me up. Sign me up with that, because Booker, BB, him, and Tyler Smith will move people. That will be a nasty four.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. While we're talking about the hopes of the Cowboys, how confident are you going into Week 1 versus Philly, Mike?
Week 1 is weird, so I'm not. I'm not like, oh, they're too good. We can't beat them, because they're not going to know our offensive scheme. They're not going to know they can look at Eberflus, but they haven't seen it with Micah. You know what I mean? They haven't seen it with Osa. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here going, oh, they have no chance. But the injuries and that Philly roster, I wouldn't pick them to win. You know what I mean? It's hard to go in and go, I don't know what I'm getting out of either offensive tackle. The running back position, I like the grouping, but I don't, there's no way I could know for sure. The linebackers, all brand new. The corners, who's hurt, who's playing. The safeties, are they just going to throw Wilson and Hooker out there again and hope that Hooker could cover deep safety now? So, yeah, I wouldn't pick them, but I don't think it would be like, oh, my God, we won. So I'd say my confidence is probably be a 3.5, but it's a Week 1 thing where it's like, so teams that I would go in and go, hey, I have no chance. In Week 1, you just don't know.
Fair enough. What about you, Brenden? How are you feeling about this game? Is this like a tone-setting game for the season, do you think this could be?
So last year burned me very, very much so against the Browns. I know Philly and Cleveland, two completely different teams. I'm not comparing, saying, oh, they're right near. No, Philly is up here, Browns are down here. But, dude, I thought Dallas had something. I'm like, oh, we have a plan for this year. I'm like, we have a game plan for offense. We know how we're gonna stop on defense, and I feel good. And we got our butts kicked in Week 2. Philly starts slow, but Dallas has, like what Mike said, whole new offense. So they could come out firing all cylinders, or you go, oh shit, well that's a miscue. Okay, that's a penalty because they didn't know where they were going. That's great. So it's 50-50 in my opinion, but I think it's because Philly starts slow and Dallas is still learning.
True. Right. Yeah, I like that. I'm pretty confident. I think I'm about right on par with both of you guys. 50-50 shot. I wouldn't be surprised if we won. If I were to be betting money, I don't think I would bet my money on the Cowboys. But I don't think it's as like far off as maybe some people think, that like that's big of a mismatch as some people might think.
Yeah, I don't think I'd bet on Philly either. So that tells you that, I'm not sure. And that's the defending champs in their home opener. And I'm like, I'm going to avoid that game. Dak versus the NFC East, it's no guarantees.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be nice to see Dak versus Jalen Hurts. What feels like the first time in a long time. I kind of already touched on this. How important would a Week 1? How important would a Week 1 win mean for this team and you, Mike?
I kind of how Brenden said it. It is good because it's a new coaching staff and everything. But if you walk in and lose to the Giants, it's too early for one game to matter that much. A game after Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving on, one game could really get you like, okay, here we go. But this early, even if you go 2-0 and then you go to Chicago, lose a tough road game, and then Green Bay just walks into your house and whoops you again, then you're sitting there going, damn, we won 2 division games and I feel like shit.
What's funny about this game, it's like you could go out and win and have a good win, and people okay, so it's only week 1. But if you like got beat by 3 touchdowns, you're like, man, it's gonna be a long year for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Funny how that kind of works.
Philly started off terribly last year. Like everyone was thinking, like, is Sirianni gonna get fired mid-season? Like, what's going on in Philly? Is Jalen Hurts is like not the dude to be the work there with Sirianni? And then he's going on to win 10 straight games, go to the Super Bowl. Yeah,
Roster.
Shout out Sirianni getting the contract extension as well for him. Kudos to him for the success he's had, because man, it seemed like he was real close, like you said, to potentially getting fired, and then to turn around and win a Super Bowl and then get the extension. Quite the
if Schottenheimer, of course, wins Super Bowl, you give him a lifetime contract. He legit says, till you die, you are the Dallas head coach. And I'll be like, yep, all for it. You give him majority.
If you were him, would you just retire?
Dude, no, because you'll be talked about forever. So no, you can't ruin. If whatever coach, I'm not gonna say like when it happens, if it ever happens, whatever head coach we have will go down in infamy. Just as the best.
Never have to buy a meal or a beer in Texas again, man.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah. That parade would go insane.
I would have to go down
that'd be
there.
Nasty, man. That'd be an insane parade. Yeah, for reals. Looking at the layout of the schedule, does this hurt or help the Cowboys for you, Brenden?
Oh, this whole thing is brutal. Like, you hope after coming off a 7-10 season, like, you're like, oh, hey, we're going to ease back into it, and you go, okay, week 1 Philly. Okay, that's great. You go Giants. You go, oh, that's easy. I'm not scared of that. Chicago, who knows what Chicago's going to be? Like, they've won the offseason, the past, 3 years? And so everyone has high hopes. What if Caleb Williams comes out hot and he's just blowing everybody away? Or he could just slump down and you're like, oh, crap, no, Caleb Williams ain't it.
He might come out hot and blow everyone. It's true.
Sorry.
Lord. God bless America, man. Fucking hell. But yeah, no, this whole schedule is brutal.
Mike?
It is. It's nasty. I know everybody's like, Dallas always got to play that 3 games in 11 days, that Thanksgiving schedule. They're going to do it twice this year. That is nasty work by the NFL for a third place team to get that. But that's what it is to be Dallas. Everybody wants you on primetime. And then they also have that historical stretch of 6 straight games versus 11 win teams. That's crazy. Never happened before. So it's rough.
I mean, there is no easy part of the schedule. Not even the first 4 weeks feel easy. You know what I mean?
No, your easiest part is 5 through 11. That's and even then you have Arizona, who's always a monster.
Broncos.
And Washington will always beat you.
And Washington within that stretch as well.
Yeah, and an NFC Championship team. Yeah, it's rough.
And even, I wouldn't take the Panthers too lightly this year either. I'm not sure. I don't think, we'll get smoked by them or anything, but I think they might surprise some people this year.
If our pass rush is good, I think we're fine, honestly.
Yeah.
We'll see what type of Bryce Young we get, because what if he breaks out? Bryce Young could break out.
Very true.
So who knows? Damn.
He can start hot and blow everybody, dude. Blow everybody
Dude,
up.
there's going to be so many guys that are just going to blow everyone, man. It's going to be an insane NFL season.
Woo, man, it's been a while since we've all been together, man. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but this is where we're at. Looking at the schedule, which game could end up being the most important game of the season for you, Mike?
Green Bay at Dallas. I think that's one of those ones where it's time for the culture to show itself in a game like that. So, Jordan, we're wilding right now. I just got back from
Jordan, I have no idea what's going on, brother.
We had to do a late night show, man. This is what happens.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right.
And it's super
the pod
late.
After hours. This is what you get. Brenden,
dude, that's awesome. So I went later down in this thing, but I put at Detroit. Because you can have your ups and downs early on in the season. But if you come on and just lay a stinker against Detroit in Detroit, Mike, I love you, but I hate you right now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
I know you're not.
I'm not doing
But
it.
no, but seriously though, but Detroit's a huge game. Like that's what, week 14. So you don't have much left of the season. Who are you? Like, are you a team that's going to beat up the bad teams really good? And you're like, oh my gosh, Dallas is blowing them up 35-10, and you're like, okay, we're here. What's up? And you go to Detroit, at Detroit, and you get destroyed just like last year. Or do you have that crazy miracle game with a whole lot of controversy and you beat Detroit 2 years ago? Yeah. Who are you?
What's crazy though is you look at the schedule and it's like even the teams that might be considered bad aren't really that bad, and they could beat you.
Only thing is New York. That's the only team I'm like, okay.
Outside of New York, yeah.
Everyone else does scare me.
All 3 New York games you should win.
I had week 9 versus Arizona. I just feel like this is it could be similar to last year where we could limp into that game under 500, and we just have never beaten Arizona. I can't remember the last time we beat Arizona. I just kind of get the Atlanta Falcons vibes from that type of game.
We can just blame Mike, though, for the last game. For the last time we lost to Arizona, we can blame Mike.
I was at Disneyland, I believe.
You were. You horrible human being. You know what you did to us.
No, that's true.
At least it'll be a Monday night.
I thought you had listed the Disney curse, but apparently not.
No.
It was after that it was after the Arizona game that we finally that I finally won one while I was gone. That was the last one that I lost at Disneyland. I lost one at Universal though.
Anytime he
carries on.
We're gonna lose.
Which part of the schedule is the toughest in your eyes, Brenden?
Oh, it's week 12 through 15. Like legit, you start off with Philadelphia. Then you go to Thanksgiving with Kansas City. Then you go to Detroit. Then you have Minnesota. Ew! What bad team are you playing there? What team you're like, okay, cool, Dallas has this much more talent than them? Maybe Minnesota just because of quarterback?
Yeah.
That's it?
Mike, what about you?
Same stretch. I put Philly through Detroit, but Minnesota's damn good too.
Yeah, I went a different route. I'm curious what y'all think of this part of the schedule, but I went with weeks 5 through 8. I'm gonna pull it up here real quick just so I can remember because I forgot. I thought I wrote down the teams. Like clearly, I did.
Jets,
but we've got
Washington and Denver.
Yeah, Jets, Panthers, Commanders, and Broncos. I mean, that's just pretty nasty. I feel like those are all definitely improved offenses, solid defenses, and it was the what I learned from you on season 1, Mike. When traveling, we got to go to New York, and then we go to North Carolina, then we go back to Arlington, and then we go to Denver. Sheesh, three road games out of 4. All that traveling.
The travel's bad, but I think we'll be favored in at least 3 of those games.
Can we please beat Denver for once?
I don't
remember the last time we beat Denver.
What are your thoughts on the Jets and the Broncos, real quick?
We should smoke the Jets. We should smoke the Jets and Carolina. Broncos is a straight-up coin toss. We have trouble with them, and they have a good defense, and they have a good play caller, and they'll know how to attack Eberflus. So that because we run a pretty basic defense, so Peyton will know how to attack it. That I think they should beat Jets and Carolina though. If you're not winning those games, you're hurting against this schedule. Denver though is a total. If they win it, I'll be like, great, that's a good win. If they lose it, I'll be like, well, that's Denver got us again, and it's at Denver, and it's at the end of a road 3 and 4, I believe, on the road. So that one's going to be tough to win. That's one of those schedule games that you got to battle against.
Well, you kind of on the same thinking with Mike, Brenden, on that?
Denver's defense scares the hell out of me. I watched a lot of those games last year, and their defense only got better. And like I said, I don't remember the last time we beat Denver, to be completely honest with you. So I need it more than I need air for the simple fact of every one of those losses have pissed me off so much. Like you all know, my best friend Cooper is a Broncos fan. I tell him to not talk to me. I'm like, I'm gonna blow up at you, dude. I don't want to. So like, just don't. I need one win, even though we'll be like 1-5 and me watching Cowboy football against Denver. But like, I need this one win so very badly.
I'm not sure. Has Dak ever beat the Broncos? I can't remember him ever beating the Broncos.
I don't think so.
No, because the last game we played at Denver, he threw like a 90-yard pick six. He was trying to throw to Dez in like 2017. I think that's the last time they were in Denver.
2017. We got embarrassed. And I forget
Or
who the
at
quarterback
home.
was at the time, but like he had, yeah. I remember that game. It was a bad game. I'm going to combine these next two questions here. Does the AFC West, the NFC North, or our division scare you more, Mike?
NFC North. We have trouble against Green Bay. Detroit's a better team. Chicago's up and coming, and you might have to deal with their weather. They have a really good play caller. And then Minnesota was a friggin' 14-win team last year with a quarterback that nobody thought was going to be any good. So, yeah, that division is rough. You try to survive in that. You try to get 2 wins in that division.
Brenden?
It is close with our division just because we're talking about 2 teams that were in the NFC Championship game in our division, which is insane. But it is the North. Like, well, with the NFC East, it's a coin flip most times. Besides, I don't want I want to stop talking bad about New York because I feel like I'm just jinxing it, and then we're gonna get our first loss with Dak and all that because I keep saying how easy it is, but like Washington, you're hoping to split the games. So same thing with Philly. You know you're not gonna sweep them. You know for a fact you're not, but you could hopefully win one of those games. NFC North. I honestly I don't know how many wins I see from those teams against us, so it does terrify me.
Yeah, it feels like the Bears might be the worst team of that group, and I'm not even sure, how much better we are than they are.
Agreed.
For me, though, looking at the AFC West and North and in our division, yeah, I'm kind of with you guys when hearing y'all break it down. The North is pretty scary. They're pretty balanced as far as defenses go, and then they have some potentially elite offenses to boot. So that's a pretty scary division for sure. Do we need to go 6-0 in our division to have a shot at the playoffs, Mike?
Hope not, because it ain't happening. So
yeah.
let's hope they aren't. They ain't winning all 6 of those games.
Do you think 4-2 would do it?
Yeah, 4-2. 4-2 is that would be good. You go 4-2, you're set up decently. Ow, that hurt. I got back to Disneyland. I got stuff wrong with my feet, and I pressed down on a bad area.
Yeah. Like I said, you're not. No, I completely agree. Mike. You're not going 6-0. There's if that happened, either the Washington and Philly had to have the worst injuries possible, and even then, I don't think you do it. So because you got to think, Washington went to the NFC Championship game last year. We beat them with Cooper Rush in Washington. Yeah, or what? So guess what? I don't even know who their backup is. Is this still Mariota in Washington? Jaden Daniels can be out. So. Yeah, Jaden Daniels can be out for a game just because hey, we're protecting him or whatever. Marcus Mariota could win. It's the NFC East. You don't know what's gonna happen. 4-2, I would feel good. I would feel pretty confident we're going to the playoffs. Winning the division, no, but 4-2, I think I'm okay. I think we got this.
All right. Would you rather win on Thanksgiving or Christmas, Mike?
Christmas division game. Kansas City's a AFC team. It just doesn't affect the tiebreakers enough.
See,
that'd be a nice
Mike
birthday gift, right?
What?
I was saying that'd be a nice birthday gift.
Oh, dude!
I know your birthday's on Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day win against the division rival would be nice.
That'd be a perfect birthday gift.
See, Mike has the complete right answer. Like, that is the answer that everyone should have. But I went straight from a fan's perspective. So, Thanksgiving, it's the make or break with the Cowboy game. Honestly, for me, either am I gonna have a good Thanksgiving or am I gonna be upset the rest of Thanksgiving? It's with the Cowboy game. Christmas, it's a noon game. The rest of it can go. Like, if we lose to Washington, I'm gonna be upset. But you have Christmas dinner, you get to relax. You're like, okay, hey, gonna spend time with like family. We're gonna go out and all that. I can think about that. Thanksgiving, after like we have like we eat like at lunch, like at 1 or 2, and then we'll have like leftovers for dinner. So it's lunch. So the rest of the day you're doing nothing. So you just have to like sit in your own anger and go, why did we lose, or why did we lose this way? Because like
Brenden wants to win Thanksgiving because he still gets presents on Christmas. Basically, is what
no, I was talking about going out to dinner with my family, brother.
Present.
What are you talking about?
He's going to be able to do his Legos and
Dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
He's not even going to watch the Cowboys game. He's going to have his Legos set out, and we lost. He's going to find out. We're going to text him. Damn, we won. We lost. And he's going to be like, oh, shit, I forgot.
The Cowboys played today?
You forget how addicted I am to football. You forget that even when I hate watch sometimes when I'm upset.
Are you Lego?
I look forward to the day, Brendan, when the Cowboys don't like dictate your mood anymore. You know,
it
took a long time for me to get to that point.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen because I feel like
that's
decade. You got at least another decade.
I'll say I've been watching for now. This will be my 10th year of like really going in to watching football.
You got to get that 3 on your age before there's been enough life problems that you're like, that's fine, whatever. I lost the game.
See, my dad says this. My dad, who is 51, he says it. We talk about like he doesn't like talking about football when it's not happening. He really doesn't. But then Sunday comes around, he'll get in there and he's getting pissed. It's so funny. He talks about how he doesn't care and all of that. And then as soon as Dallas is losing, he's like, what the fuck, dude? And he's over there just getting really annoyed. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, I mean, you still have emotions while watching the game, but it's like instead of being mad all day or for a couple of days after a loss, it's like, oh, well, time to move on to the next thing.
Like I said, it's like I've always said, it's always about how you lose. It's all about how you lose. Like, if we lose, like how we lost in Cincinnati last year, heartbreaker. It did stay with me for a little bit. I was sad. I wasn't pissed or anything. I was just really sad. Other than that, I'm like, if we lose to the Raiders like we did like years ago on Thanksgiving. Oh, I'm livid. I am I cannot stand the TV with that. Y'all want to talk football? No, I don't want to. I'm gonna go sit in a little hole and just hide.
Wait for that 3 in front of the years.
I got 8 years.
Which game is your circled loss on the schedule, Brendan?
I put Minnesota. Aaron Jones. That's a good one. Aaron Jones owns us. I don't care what JJ McCarthy does. Like, Kevin O'Connell's a phenomenal head coach. So you're like, oh my gosh, we gotta stop Justin Jefferson. Oh my gosh, TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison. Like, oh dude, we gotta stop all these guys. Did anyone forget about 33? The guy who scored 3 touchdowns against you in the playoffs and who always runs on you really, really well. So I feel like Dallas could win that, but Aaron Jones just puts the fear of God in me. And it's sad because he's a good running back. He is. He's not on this upper echelon, but every time he plays Dallas, it's like, okay, cool, Barry Sanders is here. Let's go sit down and watch almost 150 yards and 3 scores.
Yeah. Mike, what about you?
Lions. They play Philly, Kansas City leading into it. It's the 3rd game in 11 days. We have to travel, and it's Detroit's 3rd straight home game. That's just
kind of some chalk answers from you guys. I'm surprised.
The Detroit
but they're not wrong answers. It's just like,
the Detroit.
It's the NFC North.
It's not the wrong answer by any means.
It's the NFC North.
that Detroit game is just they get to sit at home 3 straight games. You're at home for 2, but then you have to travel to Detroit. It's the 3rd game. it's just that's one of those ones like even talent, forget talent. I'm not picking them to lose because Detroit's better. I'm picking them to lose because it's human beings on Dallas and human beings on Detroit, and they're just set up to fail in Dallas with the way the schedule is set up for that game. So that's why I picked it.
Yeah, Mike, you actually kind of picked up my circled loss earlier. It's week 8 at Denver.
That's going to be a brutal one. That one's up there.
I can't handle that mentally. I will be watching that with Cooper. We'll be on the same couch.
That's why you lose. You never watch the games with the enemy.
I watch football with him every week.
No, not that game. If you're not rooting for Dallas, you do not get to watch a game with me, period. You are not bringing your cooties into my game and infecting the game. I kicked my best friend out. I've kicked my girl out. Like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Hey, we'll get there. We'll see how Dallas is doing up until week 8. And if we're ass, then I'm not leaving my house. I'm just gonna chill in my room and just sit here and be upset.
You tell that guy if we're friggin' 5-2, you tell that fucker to stay out of there. That we don't want to watch him.
Mike, is there a revenge game on the schedule?
Green Bay, Detroit, Arizona, Denver could all be considered revenge games, really. So yeah, they're loaded up with them in this schedule.
Brenden, what about you? Do you see a revenge game on here?
No, my choice. There's multiple. I put Arizona because they've always been the worst team to us. They always like talent wise. You look on paper, we're like, this team's not that good, and they somehow always trample us. Even though one of those games is because Mike was gone, so we have to blame Mike for that one. But like Arizona is, I don't remember the last time Arizona's ever been better than us. Besides like what 2015. Like every other time, nope, Dallas is their roster, and they still somehow lose. And I question life when Kyler Murray just ran up and down on you in 2020 and all that. You had the worst defense ever, but still.
Oh God, that Monday Night Massacre right after the Dak injury against Arizona was brutal. Yeah, like Mike said, there's a couple on here. I mean, he laid out 4 good ones. I had week 4 and week 14, Detroit and Green Bay. I mean, facing Green Bay for the first time since that embarrassing playoff loss will be an interesting game to watch for sure. Well, which game do you view as a trap game, Brenden?
Trap game? I put Green Bay. Wow. Well, think about this. So of course, we have week 1 Philly, week 2 New York, and week 3 Chicago. If you go 2-1, even if you like that loss is to Philly, you're feeling good. You're looking cool. We lost to the Super Bowl champions. Okay, whatever. You're feeling like what's doing. That's the real test for your defense. Week 1, like I said, it's training wheels. Like we don't know what's going to go on because the team is still learning. If we see motion again that breaks every safety's head, and you go, oh, okay, Malik Hooker's trying to be in the backfield, and we're going deep to Christian Watson, and you go, okay, cool. Why am I here? So that's the trap game. You think like, oh, like we have a new defense. He might know them better. Okay, cool. Why is it 33-10 and we're Dak Prescott has his hat off just because we're not playing him anymore? It's because we're losing.
Mike?
My definition of trap game is a little bit different. The way I look at trap game is it's one that you go in going, you should win, and then you don't really show up and you lose. So it wouldn't be Green Bay for me just because I think the team will be motivated from how they got their ass beat in the playoffs. I went through, I was like, well, what about Arizona? But they beat them all the time. And I don't watch the game with my dogs because it does not happen. But the Arizona game's on Monday Night Football, and we've lost to them so much, I don't see it. Then I was like, okay, the Raider game. But the Raider game's off a bye. So you're going to be preparing for them all week, and then it's on Monday Night Football. So it's hard to see a trap game when you're the Monday Night Football game and you're coming off a bye. So I went through and I thought maybe Carolina, but I mean that's after Jets, and I think Washington you play next, so maybe you're looking ahead to the division game, but I don't know. It was hard to find a trap game in this one. I said Carolina, but I don't know if I really buy that as a trap game.
Jets might be considered a trap game.
Possibly. Yeah, you just got done with a really hard 4-game schedule. Green Bay was the team that whipped your ass. Maybe you're 3-1 and feeling really great, and then you travel to the Jets and you're like, Justin Fields, and they're not going to do anything. And then, you know what? Jets is a good call. That's probably the best. Yeah. That's probably the best option that I could think of for a trap game. Jets. That makes sense.
You know, I had not the Vikings, sorry, but I have the Raiders as my trap game. But you brought up a good point that we are coming off the bye week, so you know that
was my
rest
first
and then the extra preparation.
And it's Monday Night Football. I mean, how many? You know what I mean? It's just not a lot of times you don't come in prepared for the one game like that. Las Vegas was my first thought, though. Yeah, well, that was my first thought.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Every time we do this episode, breaking down the schedule, I always go back to the time where we did not only the Cowboys schedule, but then like every division and every team schedule breaking down. That was really fun.
Yeah, because that's typically how I do it is I look at how did they travel before they came over here? Who did they play? If you play Detroit, you're going to be weakened by the time you get to us. And so when I get to where I'm going over the schedule like that, right now it's been too busy with all the articles I have to do. But when I do that, I will go through more thoroughly like that, especially our division.
I remember the year that we did the Giants schedule. We're like, man, I can't find a single win on here. And we were like, I think they're going to go like 1-15 or 2-14. And then what happened? They end up going like 2-14.
Yeah, the schedule has signs for you. It'll tell you some things.
It really will, man. It really will. Which game will be our prove-it game for you, Mike?
I believe I had that Green Bay, didn't I? Oh, no. Week 12, Philly. Week 12, Philly at
Week 12, okay.
It's long enough into the season that barring other injuries, Overshown and Diggs should be back by then. You're hopefully getting healthy with your better players, and then here comes Philly into your house.
The big bad wolf.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a proven game for us where we're healthy, both teams healthy and going at it. Hopefully.
Brenden.
No, I had that game, but also I know I've talked about our most important game. But I still had Detroit too, like with the games. Like I said, Mike brought up a good point, which I didn't even think about. You should be healthy, like everything considered, you should be healthy by then, and all that. Don't worry, I knocked my desk too.
Good.
But so if you're healthy, like I said earlier, who are you? I'm like, is your defense finally clicking? It's like Eberflus finally getting his message across. Dak should already know basically the lingo because with Schotty being the play caller, even though the run scheme will be different.
Yeah.
All that. So is Dak and Pickens like this, like with him and Michael Gallup? Is that another connection that's working? Is Jake Ferguson finally producing by that time? Is he your vertical threat down the middle? Of course, we know CeeDee Lamb's going to be popping up. Yeah.
Right. I had week 1 versus Green Bay, but after our discussion tonight, both of you guys have brought up some really good points about week 1 and the teams and everything. And nobody's really going to be at their. I mean, I shouldn't say not at their best, but like how crisp, how efficient, like how into the routine of the schedule and like just the game, our team. So week 1 is probably not the best answer. So I'll switch it up and I'll say at the Broncos. That's what I think will be our proving game because I think the Broncos are an up-and-coming team and they've got a difficult, offense that's given us trouble with a really stout defense. So that'll be a fun game to watch.
With how honestly how stacked this schedule is, you really can't go wrong. You could say almost any one of these teams. I have it up on my other monitor. If you could say any one of these teams, hey, you know what? You have a point. You have a pretty good point right there.
There's probably legitimately 12 games you could legitimately say and you'd be like, yeah, that's nuts.
It's gross.
I haven't heard a lot of people talk about how difficult this Cowboys schedule is.
Because no one cares. Because all they know is that they're going to get ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll build them
But
up.
I'm just surprised, like, even, when it came out, like, some of even the smarter guys didn't really talk about, like, how difficult it is, which is strange now that we're breaking it down, the three of us.
Well, no one wants to say that. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. No one wants to say that Dallas has a tough schedule because everyone wants to be like, oh, wow, look, Dallas is on a 3-game losing streak. Is it time for them to blow it all up? Is Dak going to get traded even though he has a no-trade clause? Like, or what's going on here?
They need to hope to be with Dallas fans early because that brings ratings.
Yeah, but also, let's say Dallas is doing really well with this schedule, no one wants to talk about how hard it is, and then Dallas overperforms what they're thinking. Because then they're like, oh, wow, because you need to talk good about Dallas later on, which no one wants to do that. Come on, that doesn't get ratings. Yeah. How dare you try to go against the meta of big media?
I can't wait to hear what LaShawn McCoy has to say after a Week 1 loss versus the Cowboys. You know what he'll say on whatever his show is. I forget the name. I don't watch any of those shows, but
I was like, he's been blocked.
What his reaction would be.
He's been blocked.
Yeah, I think I blocked him a while ago too. Which three Cowboys games are you most looking forward to, Brenden?
Oh, so it's Week 1 versus Philly, just because I like what Paul and I were talking about before the show. Baseball is sucking right now. The Rangers are really bad. So now I'm looking forward to the football season. So now I'm chomping at the bit. It's Week 1 Philly. Like, that is still – we talk about how rusty the team's going to be. I don't care. That's going to be our first taste of actual football in a long, long time. They got that. We got at Kansas City – not at Kansas City, but we have Kansas City for Thanksgiving. That's a huge game.
Yeah.
If you beat Mahomes on Thanksgiving, I'm one happy boy going into next week. And then it's Detroit. There's so much drama with this. Because I know we got our butts handed to us last year. Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. Like, what if Aiden Hutchinson's like, oh, I'm going to get my revenge because I'm going to try to play and all that. Dallas finally gets a win. And what if it's another crazy scenario with the whole Dan Skipper shit with him trying to do all that because Dan Campbell's trying to be over greedy with all that. So it's those 3 games should be at least I want it to be entertaining. I want to be on the edge of my seat thinking, holy shit, are we going to win? Please, God, and all that.
Mike, how about you?
Just flip Detroit to Green Bay, and I have the same 3. I have Detroit's game already marked as a loss. I don't think we will be competitive in that one, so I don't have that one as high. But if I knew we were going to be competitive, it would be there. But I have Philly Week 1, Thanksgiving, and then Green Bay.
This is a big year for Detroit because this is a year to find out what type of coach Dan Campbell actually is.
Yeah, well, mine is the schedule, the way that it's not about their team being more talented. It's them sitting at home 3 straight games. We're at 3-11, just like they are, but all 3 of theirs at home. We have to travel. It's a brutal where they set us up pretty badly in that game. The NFL got us pretty good, but if we could win it, man, that would show a lot of heart.
Yes, sir. I have Week 4 versus Green Bay, Week 13 versus Kansas City, Week 14 versus Detroit. All pretty good games, but Week 1 is a good one, man, because football is back. How it doesn't get much more exciting than that. Which 3 non-Cowboys games are you most looking forward to? I forgot to answer these myself, so can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Mike.
Any of the Bears, Detroit. I like Rams, Philly in Week 2. I think will be good, or Week 3. And then Baltimore at Kansas City. I think those 3 will be good games.
Yeah. Brenden?
I got Chiefs, Bills. I got Detroit, Philly. And I was thinking of saying Philly and Kansas City because, Super Bowl rematch, but no. It's Cincinnati in Buffalo. Like, that should be a high-scoring game. Think about those games like the Rams were having against Buffalo last year. I think it could be more than that with Jamar Chase popping off of his new money.
Yeah, I think the AFC South is going to have some good games this year with, Travis Hunter and Cam Ward and just C.J. Stroud, hopefully with a bounce-back season. I think the AFC South could be a fun division to watch this year.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. How many road games do you predict will win, Mike?
I got 6.
Hmm.
I think we'll
Brenden?
win 6.
I got right around that. What team are we gonna be? Because the first part. Besides, I don't count 2020 for anything because that's just a year that everyone should forget with everything. But
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy was so good at home. That's when we went into Green Bay. Dallas is 15-1 at home, dude. This is it. So is Shoddy gonna come in and we're gonna be a good home team again? Even though we weren't the last year and all that. I got right around the same thing as Mike. It's flip flop in some games, but I can't really tell at the moment. I need to see the actual rosters.
I thought I was high with
Twice.
5, but hearing y'all say 6, I'm a little maybe not as confident as you guys.
Road schedule seems easier to me than the home schedule.
Yeah.
Seems a little lighter. That's understandable. And now, before I ask this, do we usually do our record predictions on the show, or do we wait until we do our Cowboys crystal ball stuff? I feel like we do it on the show, but I can't remember.
Yeah, we could do it right now because we could switch it later. You could ask it again now that you've seen training camp or whatever. What do you changed your mind on
Injuries or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Brenden, what's your record prediction for this team?
I don't want to because I've been the Debbie Downer a lot, but then I'm seeing so many people talk high on Schottenheimer and all that. But I'm you're a first year head coach. I want to say with a talent 10-7, I want to say that, but I can also see.
Yeah.
But Dallas doesn't have a losing season with Dak healthy. So if Dak's healthy, I think 10-7, maybe 11-6 if you want to go holy crap surprising.
I'm 11-6.
That's where I have us too, as 11-6 as well. If the Cowboys could only win one game, which one would you choose, Mike?
Week 1 at Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoil their night.
Spoil their night and get Schottenheimer's sting off to a good start. Get feeling good about your team.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I had as well. Spoil the Super Bowl party, if you will. Here we are with, instead of Mike's views from the sidelines, we're going to do our view from the sidelines because there were some interesting discussions brought about in the NFL. One being the banning of the tush push. Should the NFL ban the tush push for you, Brenden?
No. Do I hate to play? Yeah. Yes, I do. It pisses me off because you see, right. Oh, dude, we got 4th and 1. Oh, damn it. You forget who you're playing. It sucks, but it's not illegal. The offensive line is illegal because, their heads are up and all that. So that is illegal. But the play itself, okay, just be better. They're all talking about injuries and stuff. I think Chris Jones got hurt in the Super Bowl with that play, but everything else there hasn't been an injury. So it's just a QB sneak.
Mike, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I feel this. I think that the two keys are call penalties. If you're lining up over the ball, the refs have to call that, and that'll be one thing that'll hurt the play is you have to be behind, the center's head should be behind the ball. So call your offsides. And then the other thing that I would do is I would allow linebackers and DBs to push the defensive tackles. Because before 2004, you weren't allowed to push either way. Nobody could. And then in 2004, they allowed it like how they do the tush push, but they said the defense wasn't still allowed to do it. And that's the big advantage of the tush push over just a regular quarterback sneak is they get, the additional push of of people behind the quarterback to push them through. But if a linebacker and DB could push the back of a defensive tackle into the guard and get them moving backwards, that would be, more fair and even. So don't ban it. Just call the penalties and allow the defensive players to also push on that play. And I think that'd be fair.
Yeah, penalties would probably kill that play pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the potential playoff format change where, of course, you still have the 4 division winners making it and then the 3 wild cards, but instead of the division winners automatically getting the home field advantage. It's like the teams with the best records all are the top four are getting the home playoff advantage in the first round.
It doesn't really, I don't care either way. I think what people bitch about now, then later on they would go like, well, yeah, they have an easy record. Look at how shitty their division is. So they kill everybody in their division and they get, 6 wins right there. So now they have the best record, but they're not a better team. We won a tough division, and now we don't even get a home game. So it'll change this or that, depending on year to year. So I don't care if they do it or not. If they do it, great. If they don't, they don't.
I like the idea. I think it makes it interesting. What about you, Brenden?
I honestly, it doesn't really matter. But let's say because like how the Vikings had to go on the road to LA and all that. They're talking about this big complaint. If you're that much better than that team, if you're that much better, you should okay. Why aren't you still blowing them? I know home field advantage is easily a thing. No, without a doubt.
How'd you win 14 games? You won 14 games. You can't win one road game?
Yeah.
You should have won. You know what you should have done? Beat Detroit, and then you'd had home field and a bye. You didn't. The division winner you play. Yeah. They'll just bitch the other way anyway in a few years.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they'll bitch the other way when one division stinks and a team loads up on wins. They have the easy schedule, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, well, yeah, now we won a tough division, and this team gets home field because they won on a fourth place schedule, and their division went crappy, and the quarterback of the top team got injured, and now they won 12 games, and we won 11, but we won a hard division, and they get home field. So either way, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. They're going to bitch one way or another.
True that. Here we are with Brendan's Bastion. What do you got for us tonight, Brenden?
So I thought of many things. I can go off non-sports related, but I feel like I'll be way too nerdy, and I don't feel like doing that because I feel like Mike will make fun of me for this type of nerdy. So as he shakes, I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers because Paul, I was talking.
Like it.
The Rangers have the best starting rotation they've had in franchise history. They have. I think they combined 1.39 ERA or whatever, between the three of them. You average it out. If you're down by 2, you feel like you're getting blown out. This team can't do jack squat. I'm trying my best not to cuss as profusely. Watching it has hurt. When Dak got injured, I was really looking forward to baseball. I really, really was. I'm like, oh, hey, Dak's hurt. Cowboy season's over. It's whatever. It's fine. Still have baseball. I gotta wait till August now for any type of real football, because the Mavericks, of course, they're not playing. The Stars, I'm not into hockey, which sucks for me. It really does. I feel bad for myself for not liking hockey. Baseball sucks. Your team is ass. They're probably gonna blow it up at the deadline. They're not gonna want to, but then a lot of the players I loved in the 2023 season who won the World Series, they're gonna be gone. Adolis Garcia, I bet could be gone. Simeon and Seeker will stay because of contracts. Langford will stay. Young will stay. Everyone else is gone. This team is ass. Old as hell. Can't stay healthy. And you swing at a ball in the other batter's box, and you take a ball right down the middle for strike 3. What are we doing here? Y'all are broken.
I don't really watch anymore, but I think Yankees just beat Rangers.
Y'all swept us.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Yeah.
I thought we won. We didn't win a single game against the Yankees. I thought it was 2-1. No, they swept.
Nope.
Jeez.
We
were freaking getting no hit by the Rockies in that
1-0.
We lost today. We lost today 1-0. Nathan Eovaldi, phenomenal pitch. He let up 1 run in 5 or 6 innings. 1 run, and you lose. Imagine that.
That's
dude, if I do that in, of course I'm comparing it to a video game. If I do that in MLB The Show, playing it online, thanks.
I don't know who this guy is, but appreciate
I don't really like sport anymore.
It just hurts. We have mostly the same team from winning the World Series. And so you're like, oh, we lost so much talent. No, you didn't. You got Jock Peterson to hit a fastball. He can't hit a fastball. Jake Berger couldn't for the first part of the season. He came back from AAA and he's doing better. Who else? Josh Young. Langford looks broken. Garcia can't swing for shit. Simeon deserves a bat in ninth.
We're a second half team.
And Seager can't stay healthy because his hamstring is jelly. He hits 2 home runs into a game, and you're like, you know what? I'm good for a month. That's enough baseball for me. And it hurts my soul because Seager is my favorite athlete.
Well, Seager,
Y'all are
man, too bad
putting
we're not
everyone
right
to
into
bed
top 5.
with baseball talk.
There's no other sports
one
going
more
on.
before Mike goes to sleep. If the Cowboys win more than 10 games, I will be blank, Mike.
Sleepy.
You bastard.
Brendan, how about you?
I said shocked.
You'll be what?
Shocked.
What'd you say, Mike?
Interested.
Interested. I said impressed. Let's get on to the top 5 before Mike falls asleep. Maybe this will wake him up. Top 5 tonight is if you could remove injuries, past or present, from any 5 athletes' careers, who would you pick? Mike, give us number 5.
How about Sean Lee? Let's get a Cowboy in there. You know, he was.
Man, that's such a good one, dude.
Yeah, when he played, our defense was elite, and when he got hurt, our defense stunk. So I would have liked to see him be healthy more.
Season over when Sean Lee went out for the season, dude.
It was.
With that coaching staff, so bad. Brendan, number 5 for you.
See, okay, I'm gonna switch my list up. I had Sean Lee higher because he, like I told you when I first got on here, was that Sean Lee was the reason why I wanted to play linebacker and all that. Dude, he is so damn good. Like, I'm like, oh, he's a Cowboy homer. No! Sean Lee looked like an all-pro every time he was out there. He's the smartest player on the field. Dude, one of the last games of his career was against the Rams. Bloody knee and all, interception and a sack. F off. Like, dude, Sean Lee was that dude. Well, that's why everyone's being
defense.
Yeah. You think Leighton Vander Esch was smart? He was. Sean Lee could have run circles around Leighton Vander Esch when it comes to in the film room.
Yep.
Both good ones, man. I didn't even think about Sean Lee. I can't believe that. But number 5 for me, Mike, I think you'll appreciate this one. Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, that's a good one. Wrist injury, right?
Yeah.
He had a stellar career even with the injuries, but he missed like most of his prime, and he still had over 600 home runs. Like, to think of what could have been with Ken Griffey Jr. is like the way people talk about Barry Bonds or even like Babe Ruth, guys like that. I feel like that's how they'd be talking about Ken Griffey Jr.
Probably the
let's
best
see.
to ever do it.
For sure, yeah. Kid Cowboy here. He's not a big fan of Sean Lee, it looks like. It makes me think maybe he didn't watch a lot of Cowboys games.
Yeah, dude. I used to watch when Sean Lee went out that it was over. You went from a top 5 defense to a bottom 5 because of one guy. He was
your season, not just your defense was done, but like your entire season was over.
Yeah, and that's the point of when he says he didn't. When he says he didn't do shit, it's because he was hurt, and that's what we're saying. Like, if he was able to be healthy,
how many games did Sean Lee play in his career? Like honest question, I have no idea.
I could ask.
I'm going to say 75. Mike, while you're looking that up, I'll go on to number 4. I think you'll appreciate this one, both of you guys. Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Yes, for real. 118
I mean,
games.
how good would that be for the Mavericks right now? You know what I mean? 118 games. How many years?
He as a Lakers fan, he is the most frustrating player I think I ever watched.
Yeah, but just to think about having Cooper Flag, Kyrie, Lively, and then a healthy Anthony Davis with Gafford, and then, of course, Max Christie, you probably cooking with some, man, if Anthony Davis is there for the entire season, bro.
If he's healthy and has his head on straight, he could be the best player in basketball.
Yeah. Lots of potential there. Miranda, number 4 for you.
I feel like this one, first off, I'm going to go and say Dak. Well,
I love that win, dude.
Okay,
Low key, bro.
I'm always doing that one. And
I'm gonna say one thing though. All of our number ones should be the same. Like it really, really should. Like all things considered. But my number 4, which I don't actually, I'm gonna say go the exact opposite. I don't think any of y'all are gonna have this. I put Ryan Shazier, the linebacker from Pittsburgh.
Oh wow, Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker.
Dude,
I'll never forget when I watched him get injured, dude. That was so sad, man.
That was terrifying.
Dude, him as an athlete, the reason why I first really learned about him was Madden. Because, dude, his speed as a user linebacker, the most insane thing you'll ever see. You see a slant coming across the field. Okay, he's right there. But like, Ryan Shazier is so instinctive. Like I said, athlete, insane. He's barely walking now, which is very sad and very terrifying. And all that.
Totally sad, dude. Yeah.
He would have been the next 4 for you, great Pittsburgh linebacker. Number 4 for me would be Penny Hardaway. Penny was a monster, and he was like Kobe-esque.
Really? I'm 22.
Oh yeah, you don't really know Penny Hardaway. Yeah.
Well, no, it's fine. He said Madden. I can see the chat. It's like, he said Madden. Really? I'm like, I'm 22.
He's talking about the latest comment we got.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Penny Hardaway's such a good one, man.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway.
I thought about Penny Hardaway. I thought about Grant Hill.
Yep. Grant Hill's on mine.
That Magic team was nasty. Oh, really?
Grant Hill.
Is that number 3 on your list, Mike?
Yeah. Grant Hill.
Fair.
3.
Dude, when the Magic signed freaking Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady, I'm like, dude, the league is about to like end with Orlando. And of course, Grant Hill had that terrible injury, but golly, dude, what could have been?
If he could just have stayed healthy, he would have been one of the truly great basketball players. He was incredible talent.
Yeah. Talk about also, I mean, think about if McGrady could have stayed healthy too, you know? Number 3 on your list, Brenden.
All right, so I keep flipping my list around because besides number 1, everything was very fluid. I put Mike Trout.
Oh man,
dude, he's an MVP. He is.
I didn't put a baseball player on mine.
Yeah, well, you were falling asleep in baseball.
I'm so out on baseball.
But like Mike Trout, when healthy, Aaron Judge, phenomenal player. Shohei Ohtani is probably gonna go down as one of the best ever. But of my generation, it's Mike Trout. Like, if we're talking about, like, you want a guy in a game, it's Mike Trout. We've sadly never gotten to see him in the playoffs, which sounds criminal that we've been able to see his talent in the playoffs. But, like, he talked about this year when he comes on the field, like, he wants to be / he is the best player in the league. Because he is. He nukes everything.
If I did baseball, he would be my baseball guy.
Number 3 for me, it's Luka Doncic, man. Even though he's no longer a Maverick, I do not want to see his career be marred by injuries. And he's kind of started to get injured here the last couple of years. But my guy Luka, man, I want to see him thriving in LA, regardless of him no longer being a Maverick.
This is a completely what if though. What if he doesn't get hurt last year on Christmas? What if he stays healthy and all that? So like, imagine trading away Luka. Like, so they of course they already traded Luka, but imagine trading away Luka. He's playing through February. So like he played the rest of December. He played all the way through January. So you see him still playing as Luka without injury. And you go, okay, cool, we'll trade him. Imagine that backlash. Like we were all hurt and all that. But like we were all like without watching Luka basketball for a little bit. And then what if he was playing the entire time?
Man, I'm so glad that we don't live in that universe. Number 2 on my list, Mike Trout. For all the reasons that Brenden stated, you know, to think of what his numbers would look like and maybe what the accomplishments that he'd have, albeit in a terrible organization. But yeah, Mike Trout just absolutely dominant. Hate to see his career go the way that it has. Mike, number 2 for you.
Number 2 for me, I'm gonna go. You know, I'm gonna put Bo Jackson at 2. He could easily be 1. Because he was just an uber athlete, and then he gets injured and it's over. And you never really got to see a lot of it. You got to see more baseball than you did football. Like, yeah, 2-sport athlete, monster. I put him at 2, though, because it happened so early, whereas in my number 1, you you got to see the greatness before it went, you knew he was one of the best ever before the injury. So I put Bo 2, but Bo could easily be 1.
Brenden, number 2 for you.
Oh, it's Derrick Rose.
Good one.
Like, Derrick, of course.
It was hard not to put him on my list.
Yeah, he's the youngest MVP ever. You can of course, is there a chance he could have not won the MVP because his stats weren't that crazy? Yes, so that argument could be had, but he did win the MVP. He took the Bulls to the playoffs. Obviously, he took the Bulls to the playoffs. That was supposed to be the next up and coming, like the reason why the Bulls are relevant. And then he gets hurt, and then no one can talk about him really. He's a good vet now on like random teams.
He's never the same.
Didn't he drop 50 with the Timberwolves or whatever? I feel like that's like his last huge moment. But like, you see Derrick Rose come off the bench. He was supposed to be the next All-Star. Like legit, like holy shit, we gotta play the Bulls. That sucks because of Joakim Noah and him. But now you never got it.
I remember watching him in Memphis. I'm like, dude, this guy is so ridiculous. Yeah. For a guard, the things that he was doing. All right, Brenden, the number 1 on your list is the Bo Jackson.
It is Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
It is, like, of course, this is way before my time, but hearing about him now, it's legit sounds like a myth. Like it feels like it's like whole like Wilt Chamberlain's like 100-point game and all that. I'm like, cool. I'm like, I don't know if I believe you because everyone's talking like, oh, Bo Jackson ran a 4.1, like ran a 4.15 or whatever. Huh? Even athlete.
Oh man, this one's so good.
See.
Oh, that's a good answer, Kid Cowboy.
I can't believe I didn't think about that one, man. God.
He should have been on my list. Over Sean Lee. He should have been on my list. Tiger should on there. That's absolutely facts.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about golf at all. That is completely my fault.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, Brenden. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But like Bo Jackson ran the 4.15, looking like the best player. He didn't want to go to Tampa Bay, so he went back in. He went back to college, and then he comes back again and goes to the Raiders. Like that's legendary shit right there. And then he's like, "Oh, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
my arm is the size of Texas. Let me go hose somebody real quick." As you can see, he's insane plays in baseball. Like the best. Everyone talks about like Deion being the best 2-player athlete because he stayed healthy. Bo Jackson would have had that by a mile. Best running back in the league. Mm-hmm. You could have if he stayed healthy. That's two Hall of Fame careers in 2 different sports, which we'll never see ever.
Mike, number 1 on your list.
Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp's brother.
Oh,
that guy was
good one.
He was Jerry Rice like I mean he made the Hall of Fame off like a few years because he wasn't able to play a lot, but his numbers were so elite that he's a Hall of Famer now and deservedly so. He was incredible. He might have been the best receiver ever if he didn't get injured. Like he was Jerry Rice-esque. And that's why I put him 1 because you got to see those years where he just dominated football. And then it was like, he's gone. And you're like, holy shit. Like he's gone. Like you're not going to see him again. So yes, Sterling was my top.
Well, Sterling Sharp, I was not familiar with your game, sir. Number 1 for me is Dak Prescott. I mean, I can't imagine what this team would look like without Dak, especially this season. Don't want anything else to happen to him. I'd like to see. I can't imagine like if the Cowboys just decide, you know what, we're going to re-sign George Pickens, and then to see what Dak could do with a competent coaching staff, and then the weapons on offense. Like he could have some historical numbers, I feel like.
Look, listen to these seasons right here that he put together right before his injury. This man went 108, 1461, and 13 touchdowns, 112, 1,274, 11 touchdowns, 1,119, 18 touchdowns on 94 receptions. That was the year before he got hurt. Play. 94, 1,119, and 18. He had a 3-year stretch where he just annihilated football. And his other couple of years that he played, he was 90, 1,412 was one of them. He had 2 other years where he had over 60 receptions, over 1,000 yards average, and 5 touchdown average in his rookie contract. He was disgusting. He was a disgusting player.
Mike, what does tomato team mean? Mike or Brenden? I'm not familiar with that term. What does that mean? Do y'all know?
Tomato teams typically mean they're no good. Tomato can is what he means. When it's called a tomato can, that means they stink.
Okay. Well, good Cowboy. Thanks for stopping by. You seem like a low-key hater, though.
I don't know the reference. What is he talking about? What's tomato can?
Dak. He's talking about Dak.
Oh, he's talking about Dak. Yeah, that's stupid. What are you gonna do? You know, some people are idiotic.
He's talking about.
He said fat. He's it's year 10 for Dak. So,
dude was an All-Pro 18 months ago.
Right. See, if Dak continues with his newfound injury history, then he can go down as the story of how injury problem Romo was and Lee was. Then he'll go down. I didn't want to put him on this list now. Of course, what would he be if he stayed healthy? But last year, would he somehow salvage 2020 or whatever?
2020 was wild.
I can't imagine the numbers he would have put up in 2020.
Oh my God, 2020 he was beyond MVP. That year was crazy before he got injured.
They would have won like 5 total games, but his stats would have been so much better than everyone else's that you have to win the MVP.
Yeah, he would have had that. That was maybe the worst defense I ever seen. And dude, Dak was putting up. That was a crazy ass year. Oh, shocking. All right,
Dak, when Dak was second MVP 2 years ago, I don't know. I don't know why you're saying he had 1 vote. Don't know why you're saying that one, but
yeah, okay. He was the second. He was the second highest when you tallied the totals for MVP. Was the second highest, and he was All-Pro in 2020.
Are you talking about what good team did he beat in general? Or are you talking about the MVP-esque year in 2023?
He beat Detroit. They went to the NFC
the Lions.
That Seattle game almost put my heart in cardiac arrest. That Seattle game broke me.
Yeah, defense couldn't stop anybody. But that year he beat Detroit, and Detroit went to the NFC Championship. So, I mean, you got to give him. If we're being fair, you got to give him credit for that.
I
always appreciate the new listeners, but Good Cowboys strikes me as a hater.
He also beat Philly that year. Yeah, I don't mind having
what Cowboy quarterback are you in love with then? If it's like you don't like Dak, that is blatantly obvious. You do not like Dak at all.
If you don't like Dak, I feel like you can say Romo.
No, he's talking about stats wise too. So he's not gonna get Romo.
Dak's been better than Romo, and I love both of them.
I feel like you can't say Romo.
Yeah. I love both those guys. So you're not going to get me to hate on either. Romo and Dak were both good enough to win Super Bowls. They just didn't have a team. Jerry just isn't a very good GM. So, you really nothing you can do about that. But the quarterbacks are both good enough.
So, you're talking about 10 years. What has he done?
Only one team wins the Super Bowl every year, my dude.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I forgot Dak plays every position on defense and offense. I forgot about that. Dak throws the ball to himself. He runs it, and he stops the run at nose tackle.
Well, you could say he hasn't elevated the
San
team
Francisco
to a
playoff game.
He hasn't made a big playoff run with the team, and that's fair. But there's a lot of difference between that and he sucks because. Lamar Jackson hasn't, Josh Allen hasn't gone to a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson hasn't. How about Justin Herbert, who's a great
everybody here in DFW wants him gone? Everybody?
No, I'm in DFW. I don't want him gone. I like Dak. I love Dak. I think Dak's amazing.
Even the Joneses, who've been trying to discredit him with everything he's done, gave him a fat contract last year.
He not only reset.
All right,
the
guys,
market,
let's go.
he said it. Yeah, we got to go.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time to end it, guys. Mike, while you've got your second win, before we get you out of here, where can we find you on Twitter?
This is why I don't read the comments. See, I don't have the comments on, so I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, CD Piglet, guys, nice and easy.
Brenden, where can we find you, sir?
You find me at Brenden_Smith 26.
Guys, I am Paul Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at Paul_Ryan15. We appreciate you joining us, and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, if they come into Twitter like